guys, Sean here from AutoLeatherDye.com, and today we are going to be doing a video showing our luxury leather repair dye bundle. This is our essential kit when it comes to doing leather restoration or leather recoloring. Basically, when you get into this process, what's important is that you prep the leather and that you have a color that matches. So that's exactly what our dye bundle is designed to do. It gives you the prep along with a color match dye, along with application tools and instructions. And like I said, these are just your basic essentials. These are what you need to do a good leather restoration or recolor and make sure it holds up and lasts. So what we want to do first is just kind of run down what is actually included in our dye bundle. Like I said, the prepping material, this is a product we manufacture. It's called Dynamic Clean. The second thing that we have here, this is our luxury leather repair leather furniture dye. Now this is actually custom color match. What we're going to be working on today, this sample here, this is actually a sample that was sent in by a customer that we did a custom color match on the dye. So basically we mixed up a dye that was matched to the sample that was provided so that we could do just a small area without having to necessarily do a whole sofa or a whole car seat, whatever we're working on. We also include with that, we give you a set of gloves so you can keep your fingernails protected. You get a sponge, you get a scuff pad that's going to be used in conjunction with the Dynamic Clean, and then we also give you very detailed instructions. With every kit that we sell, we always include a white microfiber AutoLeatherDye.com towel. These are great just for maintenance, just to have around for cleaning. They're washable, you can reuse them. You'll see as we go through this process, I actually use this towel in the kit, so it's actually good to have on hand with what you're doing and what you've purchased. So like I said, basically with this kit, it gives you everything that you need. So now what we're going to do is move into the actual recoloring and the use of the kit, actually working on the sample here. Alright guys, so the first thing I want to show you is the dye bundle instruction booklet that comes with the kit. When you open this up here, you'll see a couple things. Over on this side, you're going to see the instructions for use. In the middle here, we've got some suggested products, and then over here, we just give you some leather maintenance, some leather follow-up tips. So what you're going to see, like I said, first instructions here is just going to be to use the Dynamic Clean, which we'll show you here in just a second. Then we're going to move right into the dye. Alright, so let's go ahead and get into the kit. So here we go. So what we're working on today is basically a protected leather. What you're going to see when we use the Dynamic Clean, which is the first step in the kit here, is when I spray this, you're going to see two things happen. One, the outer edges of the color wear that you see here in the middle that we're going to be working on will actually just let the Dynamic Clean set on the surface. Here in the middle, you're going to actually see these areas start to get dark. That's where the color coating is setting on the surface and essentially been worn away. So again, as far as using the Dynamic Clean, it's very simple. You just spray this over the leather. You're going to come in with your scuff pad and just lightly clean it. And then we're going to take the towel that came with the kit and we'll just dry everything off. Alright guys, so now that we have the leather prepped and ready to go, we're actually going to go in and move into the recoloring process. So what we're going to be using this go around, we got our leather furniture dye. Like I said, it's been custom mixed to the sample we're working on. We've got a sponge. Then I've actually got just a little dish here. And all I'm going to do is, as I shake the dye up really well, just want to make sure the pigments are mixed. We're going to pour a little of this dye in and just use this. It's just a place to dip the sponge in, just to try to keep it a little less messy. So as far as applying the dye, the one thing that is so important is put it on lightly. Understand with a leather dye, it's not like an acrylic or a latex. We're just looking to cover this leather without creating any massive buildup. Now by applying light coats, like I said, understand you are building the color. So that's going to be important. So when you get your first coat on, and what I'm doing here is just thinning the coat out, then just getting any air bubbles out of it, and then I'm actually going to use a hair dryer to speed up the process, and then I'm just going to continue to repeat this process until this section of the leather is covered and colored. getting some good coverage here. Now, as you noticed, what I did here was I started just on the areas that needed the recoloring the most, basically the worn areas. Now, what we always recommend, being that you are layering a coating on top of another coating, even if we just do these areas, which have blended out pretty well just because the color match was on, you know, it doesn't look bad. But what we always recommend doing is whenever you do a leather or vinyl, you know, whether it's a panel or a sofa or a headrest, always do it to a break in the leather. That's normally a seam on all four sides. And all that does is it just helps that one panel that's been recolored flow into the next panel, and it's just a seamless transition where you can't see any color variation. So again, on your final coat, once you have your areas of concern covered, what we recommend doing is just taking one final coat and fully coating the leather panel that you're working on, just to help everything blend out and hide. We get a lot of questions on wiping versus dabbing. You know, if you do wipe and you kind of see here you got some streaks, that's just an indication that you don't have enough dye and you're not getting enough coverage. So if you just get a little more dye on those areas, you can still do the same thing and wipe, but then just kind of blot back over just to make sure you get that full coverage all over the one panel that you are working on. And then we're just going to dry this entire piece. Alright, there you have it. It's dry, it's colored, it blends. It's obviously not new, but hey, we're just a cheaper option to replacement. But as you can see, within about 10 minutes here, we took this unsightly piece of leather and we turned it back into a colored, fully blendable leather. So that's it. That's the process. Not a lot to it. Alright guys, so that's our dye bundle. As you can see, real easy process. You prep it, you clean it, you dye it. You recolor it, then you set on it and you live on it, and it's lovely. So anyway, you know, finishing up here, the only thing that I want to recommend and throw in on the back side of this is a protection cream. You know, we just went through the process of turning our non-colored leather into a colored leather. We've done some work, spent some money. Last thing I want to happen is for somebody to come along and sit on this thing and spill red wine or have body oils even start to absorb into my newly recolored leather. So that is what a protection cream is designed to do. It is not a top coat. It is not a sealant. It is just simply a fabric staining resistor. It's a fabric staining resistor. So when you apply that, it doesn't change the feel of the leather. It doesn't change the appearance of the leather. It just simply adds a protection to the top of the surface so that, like I said, all the work you've done doesn't come along and get stained tomorrow. So anyway, we do recommend that. If you have one, again, water-based is what we recommend. Otherwise, we have a dye kit. Check that out. But anyway, thank you so much. We do appreciate you guys watching the video, taking the time with us today. Make sure to like the channel. Make sure to leave us a comment. If there's a video that you want us to do or a question you have about the video specifically, just leave that down there in the comments and we'll get that answered for you. Thanks so much. We'll see you next time.